Hello, everybody, and welcome to Trade Talks Live. How are you doing today? I've got to tell you, number one, I'm happy it's Friday, really happy because I'm actually headed out of town. I get to go to Las Vegas. I get to speak to Local 525. So, man, we're just going to have fun today. We've got a lot of great stuff to talk about. If you've never been here before, welcome to the show. We go live every day at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, right here on YouTube, right here on the Trade Talks Live. And just, we love doing what we do. We talk to people all the time about if you want to be in the top of your niche, the top of your industry, in the top 5%, get up every day and study for 30 minutes to an hour, and it can put you there. Well, that's the information we bring you. So we make studying and learning easy. Just watch this for about an hour, and you're going to learn new things. If you've been here before, we have no idea why y'all show up, but God, we're glad that you do. So thanks for coming back.
That's it. Good morning, everybody. Happy freaking Friday. I'm looking forward to the weekend. I hope you are too. Don't let your mind slip into it too far, though. We still have the rest of the day to get through. I'm Henry Wakefield, 20-year pipe fitter. Say good morning, and thank you, League Pro, for sponsoring today's episode of Trade Talks. Let us come in here and talk trades for an hour. And League Pro is the manufacturer of the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. They build a couple different pieces of equipment. The outdoor leaks kind of get you that meter to the home service, and then the sidekick for that use when you're listening through slabs, driveways, or even sidewalks. To check them out, visit leak-pro.com. But also, guys, if you don't know anything about it, you can come out and do a 2-day training here. We'll teach you how to locate lines, pinpoint locate leaks under a slab, outside of the slab, and even in sewer systems. If you want to talk about that, give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. I'd be happy to tell you how to add it to your services.
And guys, this training is phenomenal. I love what we get to do. And if you're a company owner or manager, something like that, come in and spend some time with me, and we will talk about marketing as to how you can be found for leak detection in your area. Those of y'all that have never been here before, put a new tab on YouTube and just go search the word slab leak detection. See how we come up. Because I'm telling you, we figured it out. And we're going to go ahead and jump into the national news because there has been $2 billion in federal energy grants released for rural infrastructure projects. Think about that. The rural infrastructure projects, not the big cities, not the big metropolis and all that. USDA has reinstated the Rural Energy for America program with
an infusion.
Yeah, I know. Well, with an infusion of $2 billion from the Inflation Reduction Act. This funding aims to support renewable energy systems and energy efficiency improvements for agricultural product producers and rural small businesses. Grants can cover up to 50% of the project costs with a maximum of $1 million for renewable energy projects. $1 million. I think I could build quite a bit with $1 million just to say, hey, this is just for renewable energy. I'm digging it. So implication for the trades, of course, if you're in electrical, I mean, number one, learn to clean up your messes.
Oh, yeah.
But electrical and solar contractors, there's an increased demand for solar installations and energy efficient systems in rural areas. Look, everybody wants to be in the big cities. I get that.
Yep.
But there's so many people out in the rural areas, they can afford to buy land.
Yep.
And it's like, hey, we'd love to have solar out there. People are like, yeah, well, we don't work out there. Like, dude, what is up? Now, your HVAC professional, opportunities to upgrade heating and cooling systems to more energy efficient models. And then the big dogs, not when it comes to energy efficiency, but you know, plumbers, the potential projects involving energy efficient water heating systems. And man, we've looked at some really good stuff. We've looked at heat pumps, we've looked at geothermal, we've looked at a lot of, I'm just not going to say neat stuff. I mean, just there's a lot of new stuff out there that most people don't know.
I was going to say they're getting more innovative with things, and there's different parts and pieces that all plug into the same things on how do you want to be efficient with which energy, and there's a selection out there for sure.
I tell you what, if I were to open a new company today, it would be a company that does solar. It would be a company that does company that does solar, it would be a company that does wind turbines. I mean, I'm just telling you.
Anything energy efficiency, even on the water side, things like that. Like, just guys, everything in this world is headed to be more efficient. So the quicker that you can get on that bandwagon, the better.
It's going great.
That's it. That's it. I love that. Love it.
Me too. Okay, so pro tip, contractors should familiarize themselves with REAP application processes to assist clients in securing funding. Now, don't remember what REAP means, but guys, look,
It's the Rural Energy of America program.
there you go. There you go. I
Yeah.
couldn't remember, but I know I read it.
Gotcha.
But the cool thing about it, guys, is look, there's opportunities coming along in areas that people aren't thinking of yet. And if you're not getting in there and thinking about it, if you're not, Mark Cuban and Elon Musk said, look, the next trillionaires in the world are the ones that are looking at AI in a way that nobody else is. So, I want you to think about that. If you looked at AI and thought, man, I wish it could do this, talk to it and ask it, hey, how do I get you to do this? There's so many people out there doing new things with AI each and every day that it's continuously changing. It's continuously getting better. And it's not a bad thing. It actually it speeds up our lives. I woke up in the middle of the night, couldn't go back to sleep, and started talking to Chat GPT, and we had a wonderful evening or early morning.
Hey, I have fun talking to AI.
You can have full blown conversations, guys. I'm
Full
just
blown
telling you.
conversation. You can learn new things. You can go down rabbit holes in AI. You disappear on those rabbit holes in videos. You can do the same thing in conversation with AI. Like,
It's crazy.
it's a good time. Like,
Yeah.
and grab a good drink, kick back, have a good time with it. And then now the images that it can do, you can make it do realistic looking photos of all sorts of things. It's been fun to play with.
We've actually got Lisa, our thumbnail girl, uploading new images of me building an AI Roger that is so good that for pictures, it's going to work for thumbnails. We're going to be able to do some crazy stuff.
Yep.
All right, we're going to roll into website review. And I love this because, we're talking about MilwaukeeTools.com. Is it Tool or Tools?
This is MilwaukeeTool.com.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Yeah. Where to buy the products. Guys, the key thing here is this is how you can stay up to date with the latest and greatest. It doesn't seem to be working here. Normally there's a spot up here for pipeline, stuff like that. I think the video this right now on there has George the plumber, an electrician.
My brother.
This
My brothers.
This is one of my favorites. One of my favorite parts of Milwaukee and what they do is the One Key, guys.
And I've got it on my phone.
Yeah, good. Here's your list of all the One Key tools that you can actually locate through an app as to where those tools are. And that's one of my favorite things about the Milwaukee. Like, this has just become their standard pretty much on all the tools now. Like, it's getting more and more.
You keep scrolling around, see if you can find a picture of George. See if you can find George and Dustin up there. But Milwaukee Tools' official website offers a comprehensive look at their product lineup, including power tools, hand tools, of course, all the accessories to go with them. It features detailed specifications, user manuals, and instructional videos. Now, some of my highlights, some of the things I like, the product catalog with extensive listings with detailed specs and features. Tool Finder helps users.
What we have
Finder
coming in
helps
the next
users
5
identify
years
the right
will
tool for
blow your
specific
mind.
applications.
How will
Guys,
we
I got to go to
continue
Pipeline.
to disrupt?
And I see you're pulling up the video here, so I'm going to stop talking for a minute. I'm trying to see what year that was. I was there 1 year.
I'm not sure which year for sure.
Our ability to deliver to them
recent,
revolutionary, disruptive innovation is critical. How do we understand what our core trades do, and how do we earn the right to partner with them?
To get invited to that is just a great thing. And you look at it, Milwaukee has tools for plumbers, HVAC, electrical, mechanical, general contractors, and landscape. It's phenomenal. There's my
There's
brother
George.
George the Jesus, George the plumber, and my brother Dustin. Yeah, this was probably this last year. So
Yeah.
that's
And it's just kind of a highlight because you can actually go through the normal homepage. You can go through, look at all the different power tools that you need: drilling, fastening, combo kits, concrete, drain cleaning, electrical installation, plumbing installation. Well, let's get into lasers. Right.
they've got it all.
They've got it all, guys. They've got safety. They've got a little bit of everything there. Milwaukee Tools. It's a great resource to go to and make good tools that last. My favorite. All the batteries work. All the tools.
No.
You got
Yeah.
12 volt or 18 volt. That's the only difference in the batteries. Well, there's more difference, but they all plug into the same tools.
And,
Which is
and
great.
each year they make them lighter, they make them more powerful, and smaller. They're doing good stuff. For the website, the support resources, you have access to manuals, warranty information, and service centers. Why does this matter? Because staying updated on the latest tools and technologies can enhance job efficiency and safety. Now, we're gonna roll right over into business growth and creating a second revenue stream without losing focus. You guys, you hear us talk all the time about, look, take on something like slab leaks, leak detection,
Add new
become a
service.
specialty, add a new service. But diversifying your income can stabilize your business. It's crucial to align new ventures with your core competencies. So I always say, look, if you're a plumber, slab leaks and leak detection, whole house water filtration. If you're an HVAC person, indoor air quality should be the biggest thing you talk about in every customer's house. And if you're an electrician, solar, wind turbines, and here lately, the car chargers.
Yeah. And then HVAC also smart devices.
You bet.
You know, that you can be that special, add that service into your normal routine.
So just all you got to do is identify complementary services. For instance, HVAC, like we said, maintenance plans for indoor air quality assessments. Guys, and when you walk in, you do indoor air quality assessments. It's third party, so it's not like, hey, I'm just telling you you need this.
Yeah.
They get a third party report. But leverage existing skills. Use your team's expertise to branch into related areas such as energy audits or small home or smart home installation. The smart home's big. Randy talks about it every single week, and we've got to get people that become more and more proficient at it and can talk about it every time they walk in houses. Now, for pilot programs, try testing out new services on a small scale before full implementation. Maybe you've just got one plumber that you train in whole house water filtration or even leak detection.
Yep.
And say, hey, you've been trained in communication, you've been trained in sales. Every house you walk in, I want you to test the water. Every house you walk in, I want you to do a sewer water test or even just a water test. Hook a gauge up, make sure nothing's running, give it 15 minutes, say, hey, the pressure dropped a little bit, you've got a leak somewhere. Guys, that can freaking double or triple your revenue, I promise you. Now, a plumbing business, for an example, added water filtration system installations, increasing revenue by 15% without any significant operational changes. Because anytime you can take on something new, anytime that you can take on something that other people aren't doing, and we talk about these a lot because if you think about it, taking on something new to specialize in isn't hard. Most of us, if a company call or if a customer called and said, "Hey, I got a leak. Can y'all come help us find it?" Sure. We're gonna get out there, we're gonna walk around barefooted and see if we feel a warm floor or something like that and say, "Gee, we think it's over here, or we hope it's over here." But I mean, seriously, if you'll think about taking on something, and look, we love Halo Water Systems. They've got a team that'll come out and train your staff on how to talk about them, how to sell them, how to explain to people why it's important. And we've pulled it up on here before. You can go to Halo Water Systems, go to What's in My Water, enter your zip code, and it's kind of disgusting some of the stuff that you find out in there.
Yeah.
It's
Very.
tough. It is. It's tough. But electrical, man, if you're an electrician and you're not even thinking about solar yet, if you're a roofing company, I mean, I know that that's where the panels are, and most roofing companies are getting into solar. But the roofing companies are going from 1 to 2 million a year to 10 or 12 million a year because of solar. The opportunities are there.
That's it. And like even for like let's say drywallers, okay? You go in and you do new houses all the time. Well, occasionally you could add some repairs in there also and send some of your guys by to just do some patchworks. You get paid pretty good for those because they're one-offs. So that can add a completely another line of revenue that's bringing in to the company. So any trade out there, guys, there is an extra service or something that you can add in to increase your revenue, and that's huge for business.
And a great way to do that, especially if you're a sheetrocker, drive around the plumbing and electrical and HVAC companies. Say, hey guys, look, I know sometimes y'all have to make holes in walls. I would love to be the guy that y'all call to come out and patch it and fix it and whatnot. I'm really good at this. I've got a team that can do it. Guys, that could literally almost probably double your revenue
Quick.
if you just went out and made a connection with one plumbing company, one electrical company, one HVAC company. Because look, plumbers go in and find leaks. We kick holes in walls sometimes.
Sure do.
We don't cut them nice and neat and straight. So it's good to have a sheetrocker that can come in after and say, hey, yeah, don't worry about it. We got this. It's a good thing to offer. Jump into the questions real quick. Matt McDonough jumped in. First of all, Squirt jumps in early. It's
Yeah.
happy freaking Friday. That says, Mr. Miyagi of Plumbing Squirt, happy Friday. Good to see you.
Friday,
Roger,
brother.
have a safe trip. I will. Looking forward to it. And then GB Sky says, just joined the Sheet Metal Workers Union last fall. Really liking it. Any advice for the sheet metal space? Yeah, if you're in the field doing sheet metal, just learn to be the best mechanic that you can be. There's not a lot of top sales because if you join the union, I'm sure you're probably commercial. Be the best that you can be. Learn how to test duct and use the manometers better than anybody else.
Learn how to build those funky pieces.
Oh yeah.
Because if you can do that during your apprenticeship, you can learn some of those advanced skills from some quality journeymen. That will take you a long way in your trade because you get to some of those super funky offsets, tight holes, and you can build the duct that actually needs to fit. You will always have a job.
Yeah, it's a good thing to have too.
Uh-huh.
All right, we're going to roll over into service work. How to handle service callbacks without losing customers. Because callbacks can impact profitability and reputation. Managing them effectively, that's key to customer retention. You've got to know what to do. And look, everybody understands, look, we all make mistakes. So we're going to get called back. We don't want it to happen often. You know, we talked about that the other day. Number one, when you're getting called back, you're not getting paid for it. And if you're planning to drive 30 minutes to get to the job that he was at, spend 20, 30 minutes, even spend 5 minutes fixing the problem, and then 30 minutes get the next job. That job just cost you an hour.
Yep.
And it's an hour you don't get paid for. So the best practices, address issues quickly to show commitment to customer satisfaction. You're going to get customers that go straight to social media. And what I want you to understand is don't get into a pissing match. Don't get into an arguing match. You're not there to tell them, look, you're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. Because if I'm a potential customer and I read this review and I see that's how you responded, are you anybody I want to do business with? You've got to have transparent communication. Explain the cause and the solution clearly to the client. And then you've got to have documentation. Now, let's go back to the social media real quick. If a customer comes in here and says, look, I got a problem, y'all screwed up, yada, yada, yada. Your smartest response is, gee, Mr. Wakefield, I'm sorry that we made a mistake. I'm sorry that we didn't perform to your satisfaction. Can I jump on a call with you? Because I want to make sure we get this taken care of.
Yep.
So now what a potential customer sees is, okay, they made a mistake, but look, they're taking care of it. And then once you take care of it, you can always ask the customer, look, would you really be willing to go in and modify your review and say, hey, look, they did come back and take care of it. Maybe take that 1 star to a 4 star or 5 star, whatever. Always. But communication is the biggest thing on earth because other people see how you're communicating. And then for documentation, Keep detailed records of the work performed to reference during the callbacks. Now, if your plumber's gone out there, they should have done all this already. There should be clear notes, there should be pictures, there could be everything where you can look at it and say, "Yeah, I see where you messed up."
Yep.
Now, also maybe take the plumber back out there with you. If you're the one talking to the customer and making things right, either you or your manager, somebody may need to be the one out there to say, "Hey, look, just we elevated this. We've never had a problem before, but I wanted to go ahead and bring Randy out to look at it. That way he sees what was done and what we have to do to make it right." Anytime you do stuff like that, it's amazing.
Most customers really appreciate that too, to see that you're taking this mistake and you're using it as a teaching and learning opportunity for the business. And that's a great sign that you've actually hired the right people, even if there was that mistake, that issue. But man, oh wait, they're coming out and they're learning so that this never happens to anybody again. You know what? I will call these people back.
Right. And a pro tip, implement a follow-up system to check on the client satisfaction post-service. And it doesn't matter how quick you get to it, but I literally like to have somebody follow up within an hour of the plumber leaving. And sometimes even when the plumber steps out and says, "Okay, hey, I'm ready for my next call. Okay, you're gonna be going here, but let me follow up with the customer." And give the customer a call and say, "Hey, before Roger gets away, I just wanna make sure that, everything's good, everything's to your satisfaction." It's like, "Well, he didn't clean up as good as I thought he would." It's like, "You know what? Let me get him right back in there real quick. And, hey, Roger, look, I need you to run back in there. Apparently you didn't clean up the bathroom as well as you thought you did. And look, you gotta teach your plumbers, look, this is your customer. This is the lifeblood of your business. And if we don't treat them right each and every single time, there's gonna be problems." And I literally used to tell my plumbers, whether we were out on the job with the union or my plumbers walking into houses, "These customers pay for everything in your world. They're paying for that new truck you have, they're paying for your wife's car, they're paying for your kids' back to school clothes, they're paying for date night every Friday night." And you've gotta get them to get that mindset. That way they walk in, they're like, "Look, I am sorry. I got in a hurry, and you're right. I didn't grab everything out of the bathroom that I should have. And thank you for letting me have the opportunity to come back in and fix it."
That's it. And if you are the guy that's sent back in to follow up, appreciate them. Show the appreciation
You bet.
for them letting you back in to clean up after yourself. Oh man,
Which is something you
I
should have done
completely
to begin
overlooked it or
with.
something. That's right. And
Right.
and just look, we're all human beings, guys. We all make mistakes. We always oversee a step or something. Own it. Go back in and make up for it. And that's the key here.
And it's a big key.
Yeah.
All right, Squirt, materials, equipment, and tools.
Yes. Understanding blade types. Okay. Choosing the right one for the job is super important, and selecting the appropriate blade ensures efficiency and safety, guys. And this is big sawzalls. Like I used to use sawzalls all the time on projects. The right blade type is so important.
But
they'll
not just
cut everything.
saws, circular saws,
Circular saws,
chop saws, all of it.
drill bits.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I know we're talking blades here, but even
They're
bits.
kind of a blade.
Okay.
They're kind of a
It
blade.
is.
It's sharp.
I
You can cut
consider
yourself
it.
with
You
it.
sure can. Carbide tip blades.
Mhm.
These are ideal for cutting hardwoods and laminates. Okay. But then you've got diamond blades, which are best for masonry and tile work.
I'm gonna wear a diamond blade around my neck.
There you go.
Be sporting my bling.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Are you going to have the diamond blades up or out?
I
Or
don't know.
both?
I don't know. Which
You,
look-
you
which
can go
looks
both
tougher?
sides?
I may just get them tattooed on there.
There you go. But then bimetal blades, guys. These are suitable for cutting metal pipes and profiles. Those are great. Cutting through, ripping through nails. If you've got heavy nails in an area, because we know guys get carried away with the nail guns nowadays, you're going to want a bimetal blade.
I'd rather them get carried away with a nail gun than use it
Well,
sparingly.
I'd seen something the other day, and it was on a TikTok or something. It was a short, and it was somebody about the nail gun saying, "Look, they've taken the skill away from it because you used to you use this hammer and you did this to get this to match, meet up, and do everything. Oh, now we just slap 16 nails in it real quick and hope like hell it holds." And it's like,
Absolutely.
oh my god, that is what the world's going to, isn't it? Because nail guns are so easy.
Okay, so a tip here, regularly inspect your blades for wear and replace them as needed to maintain the cutting performance. Now, we're talking about, like you said, Sawzall blades. Yep. Sawzall blades are probably the ones that tradespeople go through the most, and I love having, like, the diamond blades or the bimetal, something like that. I remember the first time I used a Sawzall to cut cast iron
Yeah. Yep. I've done it.
because I was
Yes.
like, "Man, this is never gonna work." You're like, "Well, if you get this blade, it will."
Yeah.
You get that blade and it's like, wow, it cut through that pretty daggone
It
good.
cuts through cast iron.
It cuts through cast
Yes.
iron very well.
Very well. That's it. And selecting the right blade for the right job and the right materials is very important. Like PVC pipe, if you're cutting plastics, a pruning blade is amazing. And you wouldn't really think that at first.
Right, you think,
showed
"No,
me
let's
that
get that
trick.
metal blade 'cause it's got the fine teeth."
Yeah.
Those bigger teeth cut through PVC like it's butter.
That's it. Yep. So try out some different blades sometimes. Don't forget that, but then once you figure out the right blade, share that with your team. Let them know which blades to use for what materials y'all deal with in your world.
Absolutely. Alright, Squirt, go ahead and talk about our sponsor, Leak Pro.
We do want to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks, where they build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. What we do, we build two different pieces of equipment. I've got the Probe, which is a T-handle style. That's got a stainless steel rod on it, real durable for probing in and out of the ground. That's more for that meter to the home service, irrigation lines, things like that. But I also build the Sidekick. It's a pistol grip style with an aluminum rod on it. That aluminum rod, it's a less dense metal, so it really kind of eliminates the layer of concrete. So it's the one you want when you step inside of a home or you're listening through driveways or sidewalks, anything like that. So I always suggest the complete kit because that comes with universal adapters to be able to hook your air compressor up to the system, but also a remote controlled outlet so you can actually go to the spot that you found where you think the leak is and remote operate your compressor from right there so that you can listen for those bubbles to pinpoint exactly where that leak is. If you don't know anything about that, guys, I do a 2-day in-person training here just outside of Dallas, Texas. I'll run you through the full process. We'll locate lines. We've got 11 leaks under a slab out here, one just outside of the slab itself. So you know what that sounds like. And also, I've got a couple sewer systems set up, a cast iron and a PVC system, where I teach you to go to the double clean out outside of a home and isolate all the branch lines so that you can determine exactly where a sewer line's leaking. If you want to check this out, you can visit www.leak-pro.com, or you can give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO, and I'd be happy to discuss the equipment or the training with you so that you can learn how to add this service to your business. Because everybody's tired of waiting these 2, 4, 6 weeks for somebody to come locate a leak. We'll put the right tools in your hands so that you can do it yourself.
And I'll tell you what, when you're the company that can find these leaks, it's amazing. Your customers love you. I had a lady that couldn't afford to fix the leak on her house at the time, so she would literally turn off her hot water until she needed a shower. She'd turn it back on, jump in the shower, turn it back off. Did that for almost a year until she saved up the money and said, "Hey,
Yeah.
well, we can go ahead and fix it." So I did. I honored my price. I said, "Well, it's gone up, but we can take care of it."
That's awesome.
It's you do what you can to take care of your people. And if you're the owner or the manager, you come in for the training and you wanna talk about everything that we're doing in the marketing end, love to talk to you about it. And while we're talking about that, I wanna throw in April 21st, we're doing a launch, and it's gonna be coming out, and we're gonna start talking about it more and more as we get there. But y'all get ready now because April 21st, I'm gonna teach you how to use social media in a way you can't even imagine.
That's
It's gonna be fun. Alright, we're gonna talk about MEP, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing.
it.
Where did you come up with this topic?
Hey, I thought this was hilarious. All right, and it's plumbing day, guys. It's Friday. We like to hold the social media spotlight to plumbers.
We
So I
should
just
do
thought this
that
would be a
5
fun
days a
topic.
week.
I figure so, but there's just not enough of you in socials.
There's enough of me.
Maybe. Guys, should you use push to connect fittings on commercial jobs?
I'm gonna take a nap while you talk about this one. It's like
I figure so. Like, guys, there's one place before we even get into anything that was said here. There's one place that I see that you can use a push to connect fitting, and that's for testing for caps that you are going to remove
there's another one.
and do something.
There's another one.
Oh, is there? Okay.
So when I worked out at the airport, we had a water control box.
Yeah.
And these were big gang boxes that had a vacuum in it. They had tarps in it with a drain in the middle. Like if you had a drip, you could put it up, you could run it over.
Okay.
There was a gondola nearby.
Yep.
Nearby the water control box. But they were entered where, in case of an emergency, you could cut a water line and slam a push to connect cap on
Okay.
it.
All right. I like it.
Stop
But
the water.
here we are talking caps again, which I love.
Absolutely.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like caps, perfect for something you're going to remove later and tie onto and fix it and finish it, things like that.
Mhm.
That's the one spot I see. Let's see what research says. Push to connect fittings offer quick installation, but may not be suitable for all commercial applications.
Okay, but now I got to tell you before you go there, I went to Providence, Rhode Island
Okay.
to test push to connect fittings
Yes.
compared to press fittings.
Yep.
Push to connect outperformed.
Okay.
And then we built a blast chamber here.
We did.
We ain't got to use it lately.
Coming soon. Oh, and I got new ideas for it
I
too.
keep getting told that. I want to see. You guys, here's the thing. It did perform well. I mean, push to connect fittings actually sometimes test out at 2 or 3 times the pressure of press fittings.
Yeah.
And press fittings are more popular.
Correct.
Now, solder fittings, we hadn't been able to blow apart yet.
That's it. They beat them both. I love it.
But glue fittings, we got to do that again.
It's coming. Yep.
If y'all have ever used glue fittings, please put it in the chat. I want to know if you're on TikTok or Instagram. Please jump over.
Glued copper.
Glued copper fittings. Yeah, you use
Throw
a
that
you
stipulation
use
real quick.
regular copper or regular fitting. You just buy glue.
You just buy glue to put those two things together.
Oh my gosh, we blew a weld before the
Yes.
fitting and
Stainless
connection.
steel socket weld was blown before the glued copper joint.
All right, so let's
Mind
get
blowing.
back to Press Connect because there are some considerations.
Yeah.
So the pressure ratings ensure that fittings meet the pressure requirements of the system. Now, most city water pressures are going to be 100 pounds or below.
Yeah.
And guys, these are tested to where they'll hold that. But also your material compatibility. Verify that the fittings are compatible with the piping materials used. And then code compliance. Check local codes for approval of push to connect fittings in commercial settings. I check it in residential settings because we've actually used push to connect under a slab because the city said, well, you can't do that. And it's like, well, the manufacturer says you can. So do you know more than the manufacturer?
Ooh.
And they're like, well, we need to see that. So we showed them all the documentation. They're like, you know what? You're good. Do it. But the pro tip, use push to connect fittings for temporary setups or areas with limited access, meaning you can get to it. But consult with the engineers for permanent installations, which is kind of what we did. We contacted the manufacturer, contacted the city. We did all that. Now, before we move on, I want to jump into some questions here real quick. Francisco Hasco says, I'm trying to get into an HVAC job, but I'm not getting any callbacks. I don't have any experience or any advice. I'm in Portland, Oregon. We kind of went through this the other day. We talked about it in here as to how people could go through an interview. And we should probably shoot an interview or shoot a video.
Yeah.
Interviewing for your first job with no experience. Yep. That would be a good one. But look, don't give up. Go back to the companies where you've been before and say, hey, look, I want to work here, and be able to tell them why. Do your research on the company, find out why you like that company or why that would be important to you.
Don't ask for a job, ask for a career.
It's
a good word swap.
Ask for a profession.
It changes how they look at you. Just real quick.
Paula Oriel says, good morning. What math is used most in plumbing? By the way, the last name sounds like the bird Oriole. Okay, it's Paula Oriel. Probably just addition I mean, that's really, and even not math, reading a tape measure.
I was going to say the main math that you do, it's reading the tape measure, reading the scales, and then also like addition and subtraction, fraction,
Mhm.
like that. You do that a
Converting your
lot.
fractions to decimals.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's not hard to do. I used to teach
It's
that.
not.
Matt McDonough says, "Go Leak."
Woo!
I am headed to Vegas today. Matt McDonough says, "I don't know if I like the idea of glued copper." Yeah, Randy wanted to change out a water heater here and use the glued copper, and I'm like, "Wait a minute.
I just
Not-
want to test the limits.
Not
like
inside the house,
always.
not inside the building. We're going to test it out in the barn first and see what we can get it
Oh,
to
you
do."
know, yeah, we could put a small
We
water
can.
heater out there and
We
just glue
can.
it in and have some fun.
Absolutely. And that to me would be a little bit smarter. Randy, where's the work at?
Guys, solar ready roofing incentives.
Okay, wait, solar ready.
Solar ready roofing.
I'm ready for a roof. I'm ready for solar. I don't know if my
Like
roof
we
is.
talked about this before. I think it was California, if memory serves me right. This is becoming kind of a standard, and a lot of the new houses they're putting in, they have to be solar ready on their roofs, and that's just how they're building in some of the areas. Now, I don't remember which area that was back then. It's been a while since we talked about that one. But solar ready roofing incentives. Full residential roof replacement. Full residential roof replacements incentives for solar ready roofing are driving an increase in residential roof replacements. There's tons of opportunities here, guys. If you're a roofing contractor, you need to offer solar compatible roofing options to attract eco-conscious homeowners.
Like me.
And I was going to say, eco-conscious, that's just becoming more and more nowadays.
And it should be.
That's right. I love it. I'm an old hippie. Okay, I fit in with them more than anybody. I love nature, and I want to take care of the world as much as we can. Because guess what? There's only one.
Yeah. We
Currently.
only get one
We
shot
ain't
at
found
this.
another one we can go live on yet. I know Mars is coming, possibly, but guess what? It's not near as pretty as here.
It sure is.
I know. Yeah, you may fit there well. I'll send you up there to film. I'll
See you later.
bring you in on Zoom. Okay.
There you go.
Electricians preparing the home for future solar panel installations by upgrading the electrical systems, getting that panel ready to accept that solar is huge. Battery banks, things like that. It's things that you can add into
The
your
battery
services,
banks, the
guys.
inverters, you need everything there, and you need to make sure there's power to run it, or if you got to plug them in, however they run, all kinds of things. But then again, even, and I know we're talking about solar, but if you're plumbing houses these days, put the water in where they can put a filtration system in the garage. Put the water in, have a P-trap there, that way they can drain it, and even make sure the electricians put an electrical outlet there. Okay, go ahead. Back to
Great thing.
solar.
Yeah, a good tip here, stay informed about local and federal incentives to advise your clients effectively. If you're the guy that's keeping up with everything and you can offer them all these different incentives that it's going to knock down the cost for them, why aren't they going to want to buy? It's all headed in the right direction. So know all the incentives that your customers can actually use and get money deducted from the installs.
And it's incentives. Incentives, not incentives.
Okay.
But it's
Oh,
very
did I? All
incentivizing.
right. It is. Wow.
I read that and I thought, wait, what's he saying? But here's the deal, guy. If you're the person too, when there are these incentives, when there are these incentives, if you're the guy that knows the forms, if you're the guy that knows what they can get, you say, hey, look, you can install this roof right now, and guess what? The city of blank 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 will give you $5,000.
Right.
It's like, wait, what? Like, yeah, you got to just fill out this form.
Here's the
Saws
form. Here it is. Boom.
Saws was great
Handle
about
it.
that. The San Antonio Water Services.
Yeah.
Man, and they're giving out, or not really giving, I guess they were, giving away ultra low flush toilets. They'd give them to the plumbers and say, look, you can get paid to install it, but you can't get paid for the toilet. We're giving it to you. Toilets, shower heads, aerators. They'd give you as many as you wanted. And it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Neat stuff. All right. Instructor training. And I love instructor training. Going through that for the union because they asked me to be an instructor. First of all, I went through the TEACS program. Then I went through the Ypsilanti. It's at Ypsilanti, but at Washtenaw Community College through the ITP, the instructor training program for the union. To get to go up there every year, you get to build amazing relationships with other instructors from around the country. But I like what you're talking about today because this is instructor training mock walkthroughs
Yes.
and training with past projects. So using previous projects as training tools can enhance learning for apprentices. Remember, we were talking just the other day about postmortems and getting the apprentices involved. Let them see, wow, you know what, that superintendent just got his butt ring because something that I did. And it's like, I didn't realize that cost the company, $500,000
That's it.
because some mistakes can cost that much, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But normally they're 10, 20, $50,000, but guys, those add up. So to implement something like this, do case studies, analyze past projects to identify best practices and areas for improvement. And then role playing, and you can simulate job site scenarios to develop problem solving skills. And this is great because on the role playing, and you can look, say, okay, look, I'm the general contractor, and you come in, hey man, look, I know that the print show is fine running here, but we need to move that over 2 days and run that down. So y'all just go ahead and do that, okay? And it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
First, we got to do these steps.
Yeah, we need to. Number one, let me contact my project manager because I know that there's going to be a change order on this because you just added like 60 feet of pipe. Plus, we've already got all these hangers up, so we've already got labor involved in here. So we're going to have to go through and look at this, but it works.
This, like, where you're headed to here, with the best practices using photos and plans, show mistakes or successful outcomes visually. This helps apprentices connect lessons to real world visuals. And I loved whenever one of my instructors brought in plans. We were doing drawing and bring in the plans from an actual job. And that's where this whole topic led my brain to thinking was starting with a project. Here's your plan. Guess what? This is rev one of these plans. And then, y'all start drawing this stuff. Da, da, da. Oh, revision came out, guys. Here's the new drawings for the job. Y'all need to go through and fix everything that's screwed up now.
Yeah, run collisions again.
It's brutal, but man, you learn so much actually going through that true process that it's going to happen on a job. I guarantee it. Like probably 90% of the jobs they go to, it's going to happen. So it's a great skill to learn, and actually running through that true role is huge. Definitely want to assign some review roles. Want to have new team members walk the job and explain what they'd expect to change or flag things that they expect to kind of change.
I like that. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, once you do all this, you can compare their responses to what actually happened. And that's the way that look, we can learn while we do it, but it's really a lot better to get them in and let them look back at a job we've already done and say, hey, what mistakes did we make here? It's like, wow, you know what? We didn't do this. We didn't charge this. We changed this, but we didn't do this. And they call them debrief sessions. I call them postmortems. But after mock walkthroughs, hold a set down where senior team members provide feedback and share personal lessons from those jobs. And that's what I like about inviting the apprentices to the postmortems. You get them in, and I mean, it's real. When we did postmortems, you've got project managers, you got superintendents, you got foremen, you got the people that were involved in running the job. It's like, hey guys, how did we miss this? It's like, man, look. Or it's like, hey, we made a lot of money on this. What did we do different? I remember doing a big job out at the airport, and we were having to move 20, 14, 8, and 10, and it's 20-inch, 14-inch, 8-inch, and 10-inch, double randoms.
Yep.
Guys, this is 42 feet long of steel pipe.
Plus,
And they had the idea of putting it on oxes or dollies and rolling it around what used to be the tramway at DFW Airport.
Okay. Yep.
Now, we knew that we could get a SkyTrack down there, but, you can't just carry a 42-foot double random with SkyTrack
not quite
easily.
Yeah. Yep.
But I built a piece. I designed a piece. We could actually sit on top of a pipe, strap it down, and it had slots for your forks. You picked it up, then you slid it back where this end of it set down on the SkyTrack.
Yep. That's what we
Balanced it out really good. But I mean, I designed this piece. My project manager's like, look, I've got to get this engineered before you can do it. I said, okay, get it engineered. By the time he even called the engineer, we had all the pipe in place. And he's literally looking back. He said, you realize that you just knocked off about 6 weeks labor off this job. Oh yeah.
Yep.
So you keep worrying about your engineer, we're done with it. So you can carry it back to the shop.
I used to throw a choker. I was a pipe fitter, so I've dealt with so many double randoms, and it's like, man, look, if we extended our fork to here, put that here, choke it, we can heavy on this end, so it just sits on that sky track, and then have somebody walk with the rope
And we
as
just,
we move.
man,
And we
this
are so
piece I
good.
designed, Squirt, you'd have
Yeah.
been proud of me because we actually built 2 of them. But we would take it out, we could mark, just pull a tape measure, mark center,
Mhm.
and then there was a thing on the piece that said, if this is center, this is where you need to line it up.
Yep.
And it did exactly what you said. It made the end closer to me, a little bit
Yeah.
heavier.
Yep.
So you picked it up and then tilt back. You picked it up high enough, slide it back into where it sits in the V
Yep.
on the lift, lower it down to where
That's
it's safe to drive. Now, instead of 4 or 5 or 6 guys pushing this big heavy piece half a mile around, you're on a SkyTrack driving
Driving it.
10 miles an hour.
Yep.
It was so good.
Yeah.
So a plumbing company created a mock inspections using real slab leak jobs. Their apprentices reported 30% higher confidence when going into live residential calls afterwards. Anything that you can do to help people learn, it works. It really does. What you got?
Rotate through the walkthrough leaders. Don't keep the same person on the lead all the time. You want different perspectives. And this just helps build leadership skills in every role, from the apprentice to that lead tech, guys. They all learn when doing this. Even the person doing the mock walkthrough, even though they learned all the lessons,
We learn from
learning.
teaching.
That's it. They're learning as they're teaching, which is a huge addition to everything. Like,
All right, specialty. Retrofitting older homes for smart thermostat compatibility. I love this. Go ahead,
Uh-huh.
Squirt.
installing a smart thermostat in a 1940s bungalow or a 1980s track home isn't always a plug and play job.
It very seldom is.
Yeah, for dang sure. Some of the challenges: missing C wire. Many older HVAC systems lack a common wire,
Yep.
which is needed to power most smart thermostats. If it's not there, you've got to retrofit that into it.
Sometimes that's pulling a new wire. Sometimes that's pulling new wires.
Pulling
through.
all new wires.
You
That's
bet.
it. System compatibility. Heat only or cool only systems or systems with proprietary controls may not work with popular smart models. Wi-Fi dead zones. This is big. Plaster walls, distance from the routers, and wiring paths can all affect connectivity for that Wi-Fi. So you're going to have to learn to address these problems so you can come up with solutions. A lot of the solutions here, you're going to have to add a C-wire adapter. Use kits like Nest Power Connector or EcoBee's PEK to retrofit without running new wire. Look there, you don't even have to run new wire. Get an adapter. Pre-qualify the system. Use online compatibility checkers and test the voltages before quoting the install. Make sure it's going to fit and work, guys. Upsell whole home solutions. Offer to bundle the thermostat install with zoning, Wi-Fi boosters, or IAQ monitoring, indoor air quality,
I love it.
into those systems. Guys, this is going to be a great benefit. It's headed to better efficiency with the whole home. And adding on the extra services, the Wi-Fi boosters and stuff, guys, those are actually really simple to do.
Squirt did them all here.
Exactly.
He installed every one of them
I
here in our
installed-
offices. And just so y'all know, this building is probably 40 feet wide
And
and
1,000 feet long or something.
150,000 feet long. And we've got Wi-Fi all the way through it.
That's it. And boosters, like there's some stuff you could just plug into an outlet to actually take the signal I already have to boost it to keep going and daisy chain it even further, which is pretty neat. An example here, a local HVAC contractor bundled smart thermostat retrofits with seasonal tune-ups, increasing the spring service call revenue by 17%.
And the 17% will make your business grow.
That's it.
And here's where we talk about stuff like this. If you want to go ahead and pull up our social media. One thing, because we always talk about stuff like this, because anytime that you can be the person that understands systems that nobody else is doing, if you can come in and say, hey, look, we can do this thermostat, but we can also boost this, we can also change this, we can also add this. There's so many different things that you can do to make it all even better. And we talk about education. The world's changing. We all know that. Smart thermostats are going to be in every home before long. And if they're not, you need to be the guy to look at it and say, okay, look, I can take a 1940s home. I can take a 1980s home. I can take a 2025 home. And if they're not putting smart thermostats in, I can come in and do that. And here are the different tweaks and modifications I can make. So learn to be that guy. Learn to be the guy that can add anything and everything and make it all work. Now, we're getting ready to talk about social media. So we're rolling into George the plumber. Now, we were talking bad about him earlier, and we really weren't. We wouldn't talk about bad. Would
Not
not
at
talk
all.
bad about George. He's actually a great guy. Got 100,000 followers on TikTok.
TikTok over here.
I love it.
Yeah, this is where his biggest following is.
Mhm.
That's why we went TikTok today, baby. And guys, it's all real world stuff. Most of what George has, it's him actually going through just during his normal service call day and showing the different things he's doing. That is such a great benefit to all the youngsters coming in, looking at trades, trying to figure out, man, is this something I'd want to do? So I love seeing a lot of social guys that are just doing real world stuff, normal installs, things that they just do on a normal day to day basis. It's teaching that younger generation what all we got out there.
And I love it because George the plumber is on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts. Who he is? Well, this is my brother George. George is a great guy. Real world plumber, decades of experience, and a massive following thanks to his mix of education, product breakdowns, and his no BS commentary on the trades. We run into George at every conference we go to, just about. He's got a lot of sponsors that bring him out for different things. But things about him as to why he stands out: real tools, real problems. And I love that because he reviews gear like pipe patch, push to connect fittings, and sewer cameras, then shows how they hold up in the field. The cool thing about it, the field fixes and failures, well, he's not afraid to show you jobs that went sideways and how to fix them. It's great learning for younger technicians. Now, we talked about that earlier about, look, making mistakes, customer service, following up, correcting them. And we do make mistakes. And I love George says, hey, here's what we did, and here's how we'd fix it. But it works.
I found him. Oh, okay. I thought I found him in a different hat. I was going, holy cow, I actually did. And then he turns. Okay. I was going to say, wow, I don't think
he
I've
used
ever
to have
seen
the
him in a
baseball cap,
different
but
one.
then he's got the little
The
English driver cap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Like this
And
is
I
how I
think-
normally see
I
George.
think it was either Richard or Milwaukee actually made one for him.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Love it, man. Great guy. I've talked to him a few different times whenever we meet him, and just has a good time is what it always seems like to me. And most of these social media plumbers out there really are. They're just like you. Great to hang out with, great to talk to, and definitely trying to pass on information so that you can actually learn from them, which is a huge thing.
And great to drink a beer with.
Yes.
Trade pride plus humor is another thing that he does. Combines instructional plumbing videos with light-hearted takes on DIY fails and customer questions. And we've done videos about that because customer questions are sometimes pretty funny. Some of his most popular videos, What's in My Van 2025 Plumbing Edition. I like that because we are constantly upgrading our tools. We're constantly moving on to something new. Then, don't use these fittings in cold climates. Here's why. Now, he's from up north. I'm not. So I can understand why that could be important. And then pipe patch in real time. No dig, sewer repairs. We're not doing that yet. We've had people talk to us wanting to do sponsorships or brand deals or something like that, and we really need to reach back out to them. But a lot of talking points, George bridges the gap between old school fieldwork and modern trade communication. George is younger than me, so he sees things a little bit different than I do. But he's great for both veteran plumbers and apprentices who want to learn the real stuff. And look, like I said, George is he's a good person. He's a lot of fun to be around, a lot of fun to hang out with. And it's kind of neat. So, Scott, what do you want to talk about?
And, it's Friday, you're headed to Vegas.
I am.
What are you going to do?
Man, what am I going to do? I'm headed to local 525.
Yep.
And I'm there for the Easter egg hunt. the apprentice competition.
Yeah, that's what's
You
up.
know, and guys,
That's
if you've never seen apprentice competitions, these are some of my favorite things. I remember the first time, which remember, I used to be an instructor in a union. So we did apprentice competitions there.
oh,
But
they started right out as I was ending my
but the
apprenticeship.
first time that I went to Ypsilanti, went up to Ann Arbor, went up to Washtenaw, and saw the apprentice competition, I was like, dude, if I would have had this when I was a plumber, that would have been my goal every year. I want to be the best freaking plumber there is, and I want to win this competition. And what they do, they've got the United States, Canada, Mexico, Australia divided up into 6 different regions. And I'm not sure if Mexico's in that or not. They've got it divided up into 6 different regions. So they pick a plumber, a welder, an HVAC tech, and a fitter. Or is that it?
There's pipe
Okay.
fitter in there. Yeah,
So 4 different groups. I don't know why they put pipe fitters in there.
I do.
Anyway,
We keep the world going.
that-
I mean, so do you. So do
Anyway.
you. I know. We all do.
plumbers protect the health of the nation. Nobody else can say that. That's a big one. But the cool thing about it is that when you see this competition, it's just like, wow. And I love it now because we go to Skills USA, we go to PHCC. There's so many people doing it, and I actually get to go into Local 525 in Vegas Saturday, watch the competition. They're starting at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna get up early and go down and have breakfast with them.
Awesome.
I
Love it.
am. I am. Now Colton may sleep late, but
Yeah, that's okay.
I don't need to be there for breakfast.
That's right. He doesn't need to film you eating. Well, I don't know. Maybe. I mean,
You've seen me. He probably doesn't.
he doesn't want to film
I know.
that. No, definitely not.
I know.
But guys, if you are in the trades, these competitions, and guess what? I think competitions are going to be coming bigger in the trades soon.
Oh, they are. They're already on TV.
It's coming. That's it, guys. And these competitions, we're all human beings. We're all competitive, especially in the trades. We're always competing each other. So get out there, compete. If you're an apprentice, I wish I would have had this during my actual apprenticeship.
Oh, both of us.
They started like a year or 2 after I'd turned out, but dude, I would have blown away in this thing. Like,
Oh yeah, no, me and Squirt,
It's-
we're very competitive.
I would have. Yeah,
I got interviewed for a
Yeah.
TV show a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, "So, well, how competitive are you?" It's like, "Well, I'm not going to tell you I'm competitive, but I guarantee we're going to win."
yeah. I'm not
It's
competitive,
like,
but I always win.
Yeah,
What? Like,
yeah, I'm not competitive, but I ain't losing. Matt McDonough says, "Go eat at the Bonanza Lounge."
Bonanza Lounge.
Now, I haven't been
Okay.
there yet, but what kind of food is it? Because normally, I've got a Mexican restaurant I go to. As you know, you've been invited, you've came, you've enjoyed. Well, really, you didn't enjoy. You came to just
No,
visit.
yeah, he
remember?
hung out. Yep.
Man, you missed
He's
out.
eaten there before, though.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Said that.
Uh-huh.
And then when I normally go for steak, I go to Carver Steak over in Resorts World. So I've got my places, but tell me about Bonanza Lounge. Squirt, will you tell everybody about our sponsor, Leak Pro?
Yeah, we do want to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. They let us come in here and hang out and talk trades. But Leak Pro is the manufacturer of the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. Guys, it's simple, it's easy to use. It's the equipment, one cord going to your headphones. The only actual adjustment on the whole thing is a volume knob on the headphones. I'm sure you know how to use that already. And push button activation so that you're not rattling your brain all the time.
Which it would be.
It would be. If you've ever used old geophones or everything, if you don't pinch those
Oh
tubes
my
right,
God. I have on my brains now.
that's it. Like you don't want to deal with that, guys. So ours is never on until you actually push the button. So just that right there, it's a mind saver. But I built 2 different pieces of equipment. I've got the probe for the outdoor use for that meter to the home service, and then I've got the sidekick. It's got an aluminum rod. Really want that when you're inside listening through slabs, driveways, or sidewalks. If you want to check out the equipment, you can visit www.leak-pro.com. But also, I do a 2-day in-person training. And if you don't know anything about leak detection, give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. And let's talk about exactly how you can go through and do a training with me so that you leave with the confidence knowing how to go in and locate leaks on jobs.
The cool thing about it is that we get to do this all the time. And whenever we bring in an owner or a manager, we sit down and talk about marketing, how to grow their business, how to help them, actually create more revenue using Leap Pro. And that's what it's all about. Matt says it's 525 the training center on Lamb. Matt, I'm not sure. It's the JATC, the Joint Apprentice Training Center, plumbing, HVAC, and pipe fitting union. Or they don't call it HVAC, service
I don't
technician.
know what it
Yeah.
is out there.
So anyway, I've checked.
Good.
Uh,
No, I
check.
figured you
I just-
did.
I
Yeah.
just don't remember if it's on Lamb or not. But guys, thank you for being here today. We love what we get to do. And remember, it's Friday. And I know it's lunchtime, and you're maybe already thinking about what's going on this weekend. But stay focused for a little while. Whatever you're doing out there today, do it safe.
Guys, happy Friday, everybody. I hope y'all go out and have a great weekend. And hey, tune back in here on Monday. If not, man, ring that bell below. That way you get a ping and you know that we go live. But guys, get out there, hit it effing hard. Enjoy your weekend. See you back next week.
And remember, April 21st, we got something coming out. So you want to check it out.
Yeah.
See y'all soon. Bye, guys.